He's doing, people, he's alright. Give me a wee second here. I'll be with these in 2 minutes. Right, so what I'm discussing today. Oh, there's my signal went. Right, so what I'm going to be discussing today, and it's an attempt to clarify for those that struggle to understand what's actually going on in regards to certain questions that are being raised and why we should always raise these questions and some of the attributes and characters in the games that they play. So it's a bit of a kind of social science, focus this afternoon, and an attempt and hope to clarify exactly what I'm saying and what I've been about and why I asked the questions I asked, because I'm being directed to certain individuals who are displaying unhinged, unhealthy, unwarranted, dangerous behaviour. Now, it really is alarming when you see the emotional, level of people and how they don't have the ability to resolve and understand their own mind and what is actually being said and what is being asked from different individuals. So before I even get to that, let's just have a wee look, at the angle that I come from, the ground I stand upon, and this word unity. Okay, so firstly, I mean, we could take any amount of definitions. I'm just going to speak from me, and if people disagree with the definitions, then fine. As long as we're talking about something objective, and we don't agree in the same label, as long as we understand what it is we're actually talking about. Okay, so unity, unit. If we look at this in a mechanical type sense, or everyday reality, what is a unit? A unit is something that is singular. Now, a unit can be something singular on its own that has one specific function, or you can have a unit that is comprised of many different units, and all these units unify and fulfill a specific role for the whole. So if we look at that in terms of an automobile, a car, a vehicle, we have loads of individual units, okay, different units that perform a specific function, and each one of these function communicates with the other so that the whole thing works as a network, so that you have the desired goal, which is a vehicle that actually travels and that is functional. Okay, so if we understand that, and we understand that if any one of these units within this unified system has flaws in it or is incomplete, the whole system will fall apart. It's not going to work. It all becomes codependent. If you're striving for unity, as in unifying individual components to go one direction, you have to have every single one of your components operating properly and working for the whole. Plus, in order to formulate any type of unity, you first must have an understanding of what it is you're trying to achieve and where do you want to move that unity towards. What's its goal? What's it trying to achieve? So, once we understand that and we can lay that out and people really grasp that, that's what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about in regards to unity. Okay? So, if I look at, what's going on previous in my life, I was born into unity. Okay? A unit, that being culture, the system that I was born into. Now, I'm a unit. I have many unit components making up this whole. Okay? So, I had to address, you know, my function, my role within this unity that I lived previously, the culture, the system, the structure. Okay. And I find the flaws. I find that, you know, it doesn't function as what it's professed. It's dysfunctional. And then I look at the different components of that unity, and I can see why, because much of the units are not operating properly. They're dysfunctional. They're not united to one goal. So, you know, looking at previous unity, there is corruption, there's lies, there's low-level mindsets, there's trauma, there's emotional dysfunction, there's communication misunderstandings, there's an abuse of language, there's loads of, you know, stuff that has to be understood in regards to this unit, just unity you were born into. Now, when you go through the arduous task of sifting through all the internal bullshit and the external bullshit, to remove yourself and then be in a position of, you know, what's the word, protest or refusal to participate in a particular unit because you don't function within that unity and you don't agree what that unity's goals are. Once you understand that and you've removed yourself from it, for me personally, I certainly ain't going to be fucking jumping in to any other unity until I've asked the questions of what the professed unity, what its goals are, and are the components that make up this unity operating at an optimal level. So I have a look, and I look at this professed unity, and then I see the units within it, the professed unity, and I see the dysfunction. So I'm looking at faulty components. I'm looking at an alternator that is, you know, no charging. I look at a battery that has low levels in it that can't keep a charge. I look at coils that are misfiring. That's what I'm seeing from people who, you know, are supposedly truthers and supposed to be well, you know, contemplated and well versed, you know, but they don't even have the ability to realise, hang on a minute, I'm jumping straight out of one fire right into another fire. They just keep professing unity, unity, unity. Well, you know, this is the point. If somebody, you know, is telling me I must be part of unity or we must unify or be a unity, then I've got questions about that. I want to know the mindset. I want to know the goals. I want to know the other components of the unity. I want to make sure that what I'm contributing to is a functional operation that's going to achieve what I want to apply myself to. So individuals have every right to question these phrases, these mantras that are pumped out there. Because as far as I can see, what I'm seeing is dysfunctional, low-level mentality, dysfunction emotional levels, spewing all this stuff like they're messiahs and saviour complexes, while at the same time totally misrepresenting and understanding my point of view and turning it into an abusive, a form of abuse, an attack on a man's personal character. These things raise really deep suspicions with me. Two reasons or two possibilities. These people are either being manipulated as part of some other agenda, or they're just fucking stupid. They're not thinking about what they're involved in. They're not asking the right questions. And because they see me as a threat to their unity delusion, they start to have an emotional reaction, which is what I've seen displayed from certain characters on yesterday's hangout. Now, what disappoints me with things like this is the other characters who I feel should know better, who sit back idly while they listen to people misrepresenting and tarnishing a man's character without having the ability to pipe in and say, hang on a minute, this man has never focused on anybody's personality. This is about what's objectively true and what we can establish as objective. No, who's got the right character? Who's the best personality? This is no idolising. This is no a game show. This is no vote for your celebrity in the jungle. So, these people want people that me to align with a unity. Okay, but yet when I ask the questions, what is this unity? What's your goals? What do you mean by unity? What do I get in response? I get bullshit about you're a vicious bully in the shed who's attacking people, which is total fucking nonsense. I'm asking real questions, justified questions, and if you had any kind of fucking sense, you would think about it and know that I'm right. So my advice to these idiots who are part of this unity and who are being influenced is catch yourself on, because somebody's manipulating your wee unstable mind and filling you full of fucking nonsense. Because it's been asked and I have never had any response. What is your unity? What is your goals? What are you trying to achieve? What happens once you achieve your goals that you've set? What then? What's next? What's the plan? But it's this blind request of people to join our unity and don't ask questions. People should be very, very suspicious of that. And I, for one, will remain very, very suspicious of that. I value myself. I value the opportunity I have here in order to establish where I actually am. I'm not going to jump out of one pot right into the other pot without asking questions, without understanding what it is I'm going to be partaking in, what I'm contributing to. Because this unity that's been professed to me from birth that I was born into, I refuse it. I don't want any part of it. And I don't want to be part of anybody else's wee groups of unity, unless it's something I feel I can fulfill a role within and I agree with the goals of the unity. Until then, I will remain as a singular unit, representing myself. I'm not part of anybody's group. I don't want to be part of anybody's group. I have not seen a group that is worthy of me contributing to. There is much to be understood. Much to be understood about the psychological and emotional processes of a human being. How we ended up there. What contributed to it. What are we still carrying on? What are the lingering attributes that are still being carried from the previous mindset, the previous unity? So, to clarify that is why I ask questions. You know, people can be what they want. If you're making a noise and you want people aware of a particular topic, that's fine, but that's not going to resolve the issue. Which is why, you know, I continually ask about how are we going to empower people? How are we going to get right down to the nuts and bolts of this and actually really empower people, which seems to be getting ignored left, right and centre. Like, people are not interested in that. They just have these mantras blindly going somewhere that they have no idea of where they're going and what they're trying to achieve. Maybe somebody in the unity knows, but these minions who are part of this unity don't have a fucking clue. So they just throw these mantras out there and then act like they're on some sort of fucking moral, you know, messiah high ground. Because they can be buddy-waddies with other dysfunctional components. Things like this get twisted very quickly. And anybody that knows me, I do not focus on a personal level with anybody. This is not about chastising anybody's character. That's a very dangerous game to be playing. Something that I don't partake in because I know there's unstable people out there. But at the same time, you've got these fucking morons, you know, deliberately, ignorantly going about trying to portray my character in a certain light, which can trigger people, which can then bring issues to me. I've got a real bee in my bonnet about that. People want to start going down that road. You better be prepared to fucking play that game. Right? I'm not going to stand on anybody's toes asking for the games. I'm too clever for that. Okay? Doesn't satisfy me in any way, shape or form. But if people want to go to the levels, they better be prepared. So I'm not going to sit back and accept it. So it's very, very dangerous. And these are the types of characters that I'm talking about that play these dangerous games, that start playing people off against each other, that misrepresent any communications that have actually been said. There's a whole avoidance behind me asking these so-called activists what they're really up to, why they're not really empowering themselves, why they're not articulating things properly, and what is this professed unity, what's its goals, who's involved in it, what encompasses it, who's at the driving wheel, who's in control of that machine, that unit, where are you driving it to? This all gets ignored. You have to be suspicious and ask the questions, why are these things not being addressed? Why are they not being openly discussed? What are we seeing? We're seeing refusal to address any of these questions and a vitriolous hatred attack on a man's character. That's no good. You need to ask yourself what you're contributing to. Right? Because shit like that, as I say, can be very dangerous. Was it no unity, ignorant unity, that led us to this position? No. It was logical, rational thinking and people communicating and asking questions. No, that's not what happened. So, do not, and I certainly will not, apologise for asking questions and standing firm in your ground and seeing things the way you see them. I am right. Any of these people want to come and have that discussion with me, by all means. Leave your personal attacks at the fucking door. If you are professing you're a truther, and you want unity and progression and spiritual oneness and all this fucking bullshit, you better smarten your fucking act up. Because right now I can see right fucking through you. You're not a complete unit that's functional within a unity. It's broken components and a faulty machine. Clambering and throwing mantras out like only the gullible are going to believe or get swept up by. Is that the goal? So, I'll come back to this. Dan Tibbetts, how you doing? Alfredo Barragan, Jack Dunphy. Herd mentality indeed, Jack. Pat Mustard. Nona Yamus. Wee Flat Earther, how you doing? Chelster Deluxe. Ryan Q. Vincent. Preston Vaughan, been sick of the unity talk for over 2 years since I realised the Gleason model was a psyop. I got attacked by shells. Well, Preston, anybody that knows me, this is exactly why, you know, people have to be realistic about the situation they're in and stop the fucking nonsense in their mind. We don't need fucking maps and models. We're not in a position to establish the full dimensions. It just shouldn't even be brought into the fucking conversation. The conversation is, well, we're told it was this. It's no fucking that. So how are we going to resolve it? That's right. We have to have full exploration. In order to have full exploration, we need critical thinking, empowered individuals so that they are complete units. Then they can, you know, be integrated into a unity. Then we can move forward and try and establish and find out what the fuck's going on. Until that happens, we're just going to get the same old fucking shit. So, well, at least I wish you lived somewhere cold enough to wear a sweater today. It's 100 here. Well, so they are. What, you know, this is just what's going on here right now. It's been the same pattern for 3 years now. We get to spring, get into summer, and the temperature goes up. It's sunny. You know, I'm cutting about in my shorts, getting a suntan. Then we move into the summer months, and it's like fucking winter again. So fucking annoying. So be careful what you wish for. I fucking hate it. So anyway, you've got all these wee characters who are dysfunctional, emotionally unhinged, psychologically challenged through whatever process or reason they're at that state in their life for this moment in time. But it's unhealthy to be, involving yourself with something like this when you're dysfunctional like that. It's not going to achieve anything, right? It's just going to cause factions and problems left, right, and centre, especially when you're being selective about who you want in your unity, and who's allowed to ask questions and who's not allowed to ask questions, and then behaving in a cult-like fashion by chastising people and people's character because they ask, justified, reasonable questions. Now, I hear them rattling on about me on personal attacks. There was absolutely no personal attacks anywhere through any of my content. None. I don't know any of these people or anybody here on any personal level. My only focus on a personal level is my immediate family. That's what I give a fuck about. I'm not interested in a pissing contest on some emotional level with fucking people I don't even know. But they continue to try and present you like that by bitching. We Chinese whispers. And veins popping out their neck and Antsy and talking utter drivel about things they don't even know about. Contradictions, hypocrisies, left, right, and fucking centre. Going out into the street and bombarding people with utter fucking tripe. Destroying the chance of effectively planting a seed or making an impact on each individual. Because they're not equipped properly. They're just jumping into a trend. And at the same time as they're chastising me, I hear them using the language that I've offered. So they pay attention on one level. Now their ego's kicking in. Well, they want to jump up and do battle with the perceived, idol that they think is me. Yet here I'm continually playing down any of this mentality, left, right, and centre, to the point where I'm even questioning these groups and these people and putting up with vitriolous attacks left, right, and centre. Because I'm not going to stop questioning. They don't adapt. They don't listen. They don't pay attention. They don't formulate a new understanding. It's like mimicry and just repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And professing that it's having a great impact and that we are unity, we are making a huge impact. Where's your unity gone? What's its goals? What are you hoping to achieve? What comes after that? Ah, fuck you. Don't ask any fucking questions, you big angry bastard in the shed. Fuck off. This is what puts me off. It's behaviours like this that dishearten people like me to think, there's just no fucking hope. It's too far gone, and as these people pile in, they just throw more shit on top of the pile, right? While thinking they're standing in some sort of solid ground. And it's no. You're standing on a pile of shit. And you're trying to drag other people into it. How many times have you got to see it? This is not about persons. This is not about personal, emotional bullshit. This is about fact, logic, reasoning. That's what this is about. That's what's going to get us out of this fucking mess. Sooner you realise that and start formulating it in your fucking dysfunctional, deluded mind, the better. You want to be a clever fucker and in control of yourself and make a difference? Fucking listen. And whoever it is that's goading you and encouraging you to behave the way you're fucking behaving, you better start questioning why. Why are you allowing yourself to be subject to it? Why are you allowing yourself to be influenced by that kind of nonsense? Unity only works when the units, the individual components that make up the unity are functioning to an optimal level. If there's flaws and dysfunction within any unit in a connected system, it's going to fall apart. It's not going to travel anywhere. So fuck off with your unity, I'm so spiritual. You don't have a fucking, nobody's a fucking clue what you're even talking about when they say spiritual. It's all just fucking mantras and words they've heard that they think sounds good to their wee feelsies. That makes me feel special. That makes me feel like I'm connected to the Messiah and I'm special and I'm going to make a difference. Delusions that are grasped and adopted through insecurity. I'm willing to extend myself to anybody who has the ability to discuss in a respectful, rational manner, right? And achieve whatever we could achieve on those grounds, because that's the only way we're going to achieve anything. But you come at me with dysfunction and emotional bullshit, I'm not going to want to be part of that at all. And anybody who is worth, you know, being part of any unit's going to realise that and not want to be part of it. So you're pissing in the fucking wind. Think about it. People are shouting unity. That implies they need unit components to make up the unity. So what does the unity have as a goal? What's it trying to achieve? If you don't have, you know, an answer for any of that stuff, what are you asking people to be part of? Nothing. It just falls apart. It's nonsense. And that's it. Beyond belief. Ask questions about the contradictions and you get personal attacks coming back from the people that apparently don't like people who make personal attacks. This is how blind these people are. They don't even have the ability to understand. I hear them saying they've watched me for 5 minutes, but yet they've formulated these faulty opinions. You know? Anybody that knows for any period of time knows that it's not about persons. And when you ask questions, questions are always encouraged. And when you ask a question about something objective or a claim that's being made, and you get vitriol and personal attacks back, everybody should be going, what's actually happening here? This is evasive avoidance. But this is how they blind people. They blind people who are vulnerable and in an emotionally vulnerable place, because this is not an easy thing to realise and take, right? So there has to be a settling down period. There has to be a process for people to go through. And you have to have compassion and understanding and a willingness to accept that and to know that it's a bit of an arduous task. No, oh, let's get these people while they're coming out of this nonsense cult that they've been born into, and while they're in a vulnerable position, we'll start badging them into another cult where they've not had a chance to let things settle down, to understand, to be in an empowered, strong place before they decide what they're going to contribute to. No, we'll just take them straight at the fire, right into the frying pan. And then anybody that doesn't go with that or questions it, we'll just chastise them. This is why I say things like common purpose, agendas, organisations mimicking, you know, jumping in grassroots activism and taking it on a nonsense path. And you get the gullibles who are swept up by that think, yeah, I'm some sort of righteous warrior, I'm part of this. They don't even fucking know what they're contributing to. Loonies. Fucking lunatics. So maybe once we understand and we've had a chance for things to settle down and we start seeing rational, logical, critical thinking, discerning, emotionally stable human beings, then we can maybe establish some sort of unity for a specific goal. Now, for me, My ideas of unity and my specific goal is exactly as I've just said. Critically thinking, empowered, emotionally stable individuals who agree that we've been lied to about where we are. And the only way to resolve it is to have full exploration, to find the full dimensions of the area that we're in. How's that going to happen with a bunch of fucking emotionally retarded, psychopathic, fucking illogical dipshits full of testosterone and ego? That's not going to go any fucking where. I don't want to be on a ship with anybody like that. That's a fucking liability. Do you see military units with dysfunctional, emotionally retarded morons? No, there's a standard in order for there to be any sort of unit for things to be achieved. And if they don't meet that standard, the unit, they don't get in the unit. So these people just need to slow down their processes. Think about what they're saying. Think about what they're contributing to. Think about the questions that's being asked or in regards to the claims and the mantras that they're shouting about. And if they're intellectually honest and really rational, they will resolve it. They will have the ability to come and articulate and have an understanding and then have progress. Until that, you're just going to get this continuation again, running circles of people on thinking they're justice warriors while they're chastising people that question them. It's nonsense. It's this new age spirituality bullshit, and it's all its fancy mantras, right? It's just warping people, right? And because, as I say, people are, you know, life's kind of traumatic. People need a security blanket, but they grasp onto these delusional ideas of spirituality and what they think they're contributing to and what they're part of, right? And then start trying to fucking dictate that onto other people and judging them by that standard. It's just absolute crazy behaviour. So I'm not going to keep labouring the point. I hope this is the last time I have to articulate it. I doubt it. I highly suspect that we're going to see a continuation of this dysfunctional bullshit from these people. And they will never adapt. They will never progress. They'll just try and drag all the vulnerable, all the weak into their wee fucking cult. I'm not contributing to it. I'm not a part of that at all. I'm not part of anybody's unity. I stand alone. This is why, you know, I'm seriously contemplating just shutting down all communication and just focusing purely on the content that I want to offer. Get back to that. So there is no BTIC crew. You know, everybody that's involved has the ability to go and, you know, establish themselves on their own platforms. I will share their information. I will share who they are and what they're offering. Because, you know, things very quickly become complex in regards to people, you know, and social groups, especially when there's dysfunction. I'm not professing I'm perfect. I have loads of aspects of me that I still have to resolve, that I still have to work on. Again, which is why, you know, I'm smart and rational enough not to go jumping into professing unity. Let's just simplify it and take it a fucking step at a time and look at what's actually required and what's actually important. You all right, boy?
Do you know how to get the water balloons on the thing?
On the tap?
Yeah.
The small ones?
Yeah.
They'll just tear if you try and put them on it. You need to do it in the house on the wee tap.
No, yeah, you turn the thing on and then you put the things up on it.
I don't know. You'll need to ask Mum just now. I'm doing a live thing.
Okay.
All right, boy. Shut that door. Push it over. Tight. Push it tight. Cheers. So, I lost my train of thought there, and I'll come back to it. Aras, it's not just the trolls, the faceless potatoes. I'm talking about these supposed activist groups. They're not just faceless trolls, you know, they're showing themselves. But, you know, what I see is an emotional dysfunction, psychological dysfunction. I see issues with these people, and their behaviour is very, very dangerous. So I'm addressing it. This all stems from a misunderstanding because they're listening to misrepresentations of what it is I'm actually saying and what it is I'm actually questioning. So it's hugely important and it's hugely relevant because these are the issues that we're going to continually come up against until people start to resolve them. If I'm going to remain, you know, involved in this whole fucking thing, I'm going to continually speak about it. And these people appreciate it, forget about the trolls. None of that's affecting me on any level whatsoever. None of it. Anything that I'm addressing, I feel it's relevant, I feel it's important. And there's something there that can be understood, there's progress that can be made if people are willing. But they have to be willing. Having a meet up and having some chit chat with people is just a social gathering. It's not a unity, as in what I've expressed. You know, people have to understand language and words and what we're actually talking about, definitions, and make it clear. So when I hear a word like unity, as I say, I think of, okay, you know, a machine, unity, you know, comprised of individual units that make up a whole in order to have a specific goal. Right? A social gathering is just to be sociable, to chit chat. Totally different. But when you're professing unity with militant type speech involved in it, I've got fucking serious issues there. And I'm not going to be shy about questioning it. Again, it's no personal. How can this be a personal thing if I've never interacted with anybody on here on any personal level, apart from a couple of people? Think about it. And then ask yourself why these people continually do that. Now, for me, it raises real suspicions and affirms my suspicions about what this whole professed grassroots activism shit is really about. There's no care or consideration for the psychological and emotional state that people will be in at this vulnerable time. But I'm sure yet again, anything that I've said here will be misinterpreted. Although, you know, I'm trying my hardest to make it, you know, known, so something you can't interpret. You know, it's just fucking solid. What I'm actually saying, it means what I'm saying. No subject to interpretation. But it's difficult with language and expression because people are full of emotional triggers and preconceived ideas and things that they act out of that they don't even realise. And we've still got people talking about a fucking globe and a flat. I'm fucking way beyond that. It's fucking done and dusted. There's no debate. You don't debate objective reality. You make claims, you practically demonstrate them, and you fuck off. Simple as that. Don't enter into debates. Debates are fucking useless. Debates are for ideas, fantasies, nonsense, beliefs, insecurities, things that you want to cling to and debate with somebody else because it threatens your, you know, perceptions and beliefs. There only is one fucking reality. You don't debate it. You make findings and you demonstrate it to your fellow man in a practical fashion. If you cannot fit that criteria, you fuck off, sent packing as a fucking charlatan. End of story. I'm not interested in this. Oh, is it a globe? Is it concave? Is it flat? Is it it's fucking done. The psyops and the games that they continually tie people into this perceived battle Forget it. Move on to the next importance. What's really important now? They would keep it going perpetually, forever, if people let them away with it. Oh, it's your globe versus your flat. Oh, there's no verses. So, for me, I'm at the point of, all that's fucking done with. Now we're at the point of this progression. How are we going to resolve this? How are we going to find out where we actually are? That comes down to people, their psychological and emotional state. That's what we have to look at. That's why I keep saying it's so important that if you're being an activist, you're discerning, you're articulate, you've got all your grounds covered. You know what you can offer each individual in regards to empowering them, to put the fucking steering wheel back in their hands. And if I see that being ignored and avoided and disregarded and shat on, then there's a fucking issue. Ashley Taylor, what are you talking about flying drones over ice walls? Give me a fucking break with your ice wall pish. Right? The only thing that's going to fucking resolve it is exactly what I'm talking about. And full exploration. No boundaries, no limitations to travel. None. So fuck off. You reach drone over the ice walls if you think you're making some sort of clever, sarky comment. You're fucking a moron. No funny, no clever, no intelligent. Just a fucking dipshit. Oh, there's a personal attack. No, it's not. There's a difference. Understand the difference. If I see a spade, I call it a fucking spade. If I see a comment, I call it as it's fucking done. A personal attack is when I start saying, "Oh, that commenter there, oh, she's a bully, she's a cult leader, she's an angry," and I use these mantras to portray that person in a certain manner. Calling them a fucking moron for their offerings is just what it is. Somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, there's a square wheel," I'm going to say, "Fuck off, you moron. Stop being fucking stupid." If I then enter into slandering them, I'm now into the realms of bullying, propaganda, dangerous territory. Exactly, Dardania. But this is the thing, because they try and use that, and I don't have to. I can be indirect. I don't have to use their names. But that's exactly how I see it. This is what I'm saying about, from the fire into the frying pan. When, this is a huge thing, and human beings have to go through a process here. And there has to be an understanding and a resolve before we even move forward as any kind of unit. But they want to take people in a dysfunctional, vulnerable position and throw them straight into another frying pan. And I can see it, and I'm glad there's people like you and others that can see exactly what's fucking going on. Frank Matty, how you doing? Matthew C4, FPV Angel. Beyond belief, how you doing, mate? Master Bevs, Russian Vids Archives, how you doing? Anka893, Mr. Cheswick, how you doing? Midnight Gardener. Bill Flyer, Florida, how you doing? Exactly, Bill. The only ice wall I know for sure is the one in my freezer. Martin Healy, how you doing? Chris Hayes, Algreen 216, Slave Unicorn. Magumba, how you doing, bud? You in the sun? Is it raining? Execrate 200, how you doing, mate? Bloody Stickle and Water, how do? Lady Onyx, Richard Buck, Just Ask, Maggie M, how you doing? Brian Ritchie, Jonathan Roberts, Pat Mustard. So, I'm not really getting anything else to offer this afternoon. That was pretty much the focus. So, you know, again, it should be crystal fucking clear. And I know that there is people that can see what's going on. And I appreciate those people. This is what it's about. People discerning and asking the right fucking questions. And not being caught in any traps. It's very easy for you to be pulled into these things. Right? And it's not about loyalty to a particular group or your favourite internet celebrity or whatever. It's not about that. It's like a loyalty to truth, honesty, openness. That's where it should be. Okay? If we're going to progress as a unity, that is a fucking absolute 100% necessity. So, a unity must identify its goals. A unity must identify the units that make up the unity and make sure they are functional. Or your unity's gone fucking nowhere. Okay? So, a couple of things quick. A couple of messages from people. And people need to understand this is a phone-in phone. There's no credit in it. I'm not going to put money in this to text people back. You need to try and get me when I'm on it live. Okay? All right, Dale. How are you? John from Melbourne. Did you use to do Tommy the taxi driver online? No, absolutely no idea what that is. If not, I'd still like to hear from you, but you seem shy. Oi, you there? I don't know how I can seem shy. I'm here at least twice a fucking week. So, John from Melbourne, you can get me here anytime. And Paul, who had a conversation with me about questioning presuppositions and the philosophies, you said you tried to contact me, but you couldn't. Well, I'll get onto that, mate, and see if I can resolve it and see if I can contact you back in some way, shape, or form. So, and again, you know, I'm no blind either to these people who are facilitating grounds for these morons to play their games. I don't appreciate it, you know, and I'm going to be vocal about you types of people as well. We all need to be questioning each other's content, no persons, what the objective stuff is we're actually offering. Now, when I see people facilitating grounds for these morons to play the games, and then people who I feel should know better sit back idly, laughing like they're getting off on it, right? They should be fucking piping in and fucking stamping that kind of shit behaviour out, because it's fucking dangerous. It's all very well sitting, oh, it's not happening to me, so I can sit and laugh about it. But wait until somebody's trying to portray your character in a certain light, that then puts your character up there as a target for unstable, you know, emotionally retarded fuckwits. Because of misrepresentations, because of manipulative, dysfunctional clowns spouting their fucking gums about a lot of shite. I see you sitting there, lapping it up, laughing. Fuck you. So, anybody get anything to say? As I say, I've got no loyalty to any of these fucking characters. My loyalty is to stand firm on the grounds that I set off on. And that's it. My goals have never changed. The targets have never moved. Always been the fucking same. So fuck them. They want to display behaviours for me. That's fine. That just empowers me even more, gives me a wider perspective, so I appreciate that. But now I can keep them at fucking arm's length. See this. Look, anger's a healthy thing. As I say, I'm in touch with, my emotional processes. And when I've got an annoyance with certain points, I articulate it in, maybe an angry, animated fashion. But anger's not a negative. Anger's a negative when it's ruling you, when you're not in control of that, when anger consumes you and you take rages and smash things up and abuse people. That's an anger that people should be, concerned about. It's justified anger and annoyance and contempt. I appreciate what you're saying though, and at the same time, people think it may not be worthy, but for me, it is hugely relevant, it's hugely important, and we should continually bring these things up and discuss them with each other. Not shy away, hoping that it goes away, that some saviour's going to help us, or some faulty unity is going to resolve everything. Exactly, pragmatic. Money, hooning, and ambition keeps it running. Yep. And delusions of grandeur and hubris, whatever you like. Just irrational, scatty, emotionally impulsive behaviours that are destructive. People asking about Marshall. Well, I'll address that in a later, thing if people are going to continue to ask the questions. Again, it's an opportunity to look at communication breakdown and social structures and interactions with people and how they fall apart. So I'll discuss that at a later date. Again, this is the problem. When people come together as groups, and if people are not functioning at an optimum level, things can become complicated and it will fall apart. This is just part of life, part of the learning process, and we need to embrace it. We need to look at it openly and honestly, embrace it and move forward. Simple as that. Yeah. This is not about, chastising groups and continually pounding at them. This is a hope that people can resolve and progress and understand what's actually being said and questioned. It's not a perpetuation of us against them or this faction against that faction. I'm not fucking interested in any of that. But if people are not being allowed to ask questions and air concerns, there's a fucking serious issue. I am not ever going to contribute to a cult ever again. Exactly, Val. Popularity breeds contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt. This is it. People's perceptions become skewed and lost. Rather than what's been offered and what's useful to them, they start thinking about persons and personalities and how they don't like that and how they're fed up with that person and blah, blah, blah. These are things that are probably going to continue with humans, but that's not what's important. This is a question about objective facts, and how we function as a society in regards to our psychological processes and emotional processes. What's been affecting us, how we've been thinking irrationally and acting irrationally. People talk about a new paradigm and uplifting and spiritual. Well, yeah, these are the nuts and bolts we have to look at if you want to have any change. If you maintain the same mind and emotional processes, you're just going to get the same shit over and over and over again. And that's the definition of fucking insanity. You have to adapt. You have to resolve, move on, progress. So I think from now on, as I say, I'm going to have to pull myself back in and start focusing more on these aspects, the social science aspects. As I say, the whole thing about objective, subjective, and how substances behave, all that is all done. I'm way fucking beyond that. Anybody's got anything new in regards to providing something practical, I'll always be open to that. Until then, I have to focus on other avenues. So, we can keep looking at the symptoms all day, you know. We need to start getting to the root of the problems. And the root of the problems lie with each and every individual. And the sooner people get that, the better. Right? Cheers, Pat Mustard. Exactly, Execrate 200. People talk about taking control back, also taking back control of what? Well, this is it. You know, nobody owns manpower. Nobody has it in a wee box in a building somewhere, you know, surrounded by a committee or a group of people that I need to demand it from. That's the absurdity of these people, you know. And that I asked the questions before when I was hearing phrases of we're going to out-organise the organisers and overthrow the oppressors. And then what? Then what? You don't get any response back. It's just empty nonsense, mantras and buzzwords that sound good to the conspiratarded, you know, victimhood, self-righteous mind. That's who that appeals to. Somebody rational and discerning, that doesn't appeal to them. They've got questions about that. But it's just a projection of the depth of contemplation that these people have. So people like us have to suffer because of their ineptitudes, because their lack. Don't fucking think so. Fuck them. This is not about social justice warrior, saviour, you know, victim, saviour mentality. Take that and ram it right up your fucking ass. There is no Messiah. There is no group that's going to save everybody. Exactly, riddle me this. He who fights with monsters should be careful lest he thereby become a monster. And if thou gaze long into an abyss, the abyss will also gaze into thee. Exactly, Andrew. Be strong in yourself. That's what this is about. The ability to recognise your own, you know, weaknesses and flaws and strengths. It's about, you know, total awareness of the self. And then a total awareness of what you're going to contribute to. Exactly, Aris. No gurus. There just should be people who have got the strength to stand up to bullshit and the strength and unwavering ability to just ask questions in the face of oppression and ridicule and cult mentalities. It's to be encouraged. Questions are good. Right, anyway, people, I don't see anybody with anything to say or contribute. Any questions? I'm going to get another minute. Des Sherwood, the activist videos are getting harder and harder to watch. It's a complete shambles. I know, Des, but people think that's, people are saying that out of jealousy or some sort of egotistical position. They're just not listening to questions and points that are being raised. I mean, fuck's sake, things that I'm saying and other people that are offering these things, is for these people. You would think that they could move beyond their ego and actually listen. I mean, as I say, they use language that they've heard in other aspects, but yeah, when it gets to this a wee bit of criticism and somebody offering it, they just don't want to adopt it. They don't want to resolve and move on. They just rinse and repeat with dysfunctional bullshit, getting into town centres and bombarding people with fucking absolute crap, getting involved in needless conversations. They take it as a personal insult, and it's not a personal insult. They're the ones that profess we're all in this together. Well, I agree, we are all in it together. But these people want to say that, but then say, oh, we can only all be in it together as long as you don't question me. As long as you don't criticise flaws, then we're fine. We can all be in it together. How can we all be in it together if we're not willing to tolerate questions? It's just that total nonsense. It's that nonsensical and transparent. It baffles me that people can't see through it. Level Earth Berk, I don't know. Maybe. If I think it's productive. As I say, doing things like that for me was purely to demonstrate that people shouldn't be afraid of ridicule and people's opinions, and he also that props and a costume can sometimes break down the barriers that people have in regards to an interaction. So, I try these things and I put them out there hoping that people can take use for them. It's not because I want to establish, an entertainment character of 00 Scientist. If I start to perpetuate 00 Scientist, I've got to ask myself, what's my intentions? What's the reasons why I would perpetuate 00 Scientist? Fair enough, I may use 00 Scientist at a particular venue because, as I say, I know that it breaks down the constructs of these barriers that people put up in regards to interacting with a stranger in the street, which is why I offered up the props and these different approaches, because they're useful, they work. But no, for somebody to take that and then establish it as some sort of gimmick or fucking what product that's to be perpetuated for views and likes and entertainment, that's just nonsense. So I don't know. If I think it's applicable and I think it's worthwhile, I will wheel out 007 or 00 Scientist. Again, things like that bother me because I see that there's a miscommunication. Things are lost in translation about my intent and the reasons behind why I've done the things that I've done and what I've tried to offer. People misinterpret it and they see it from all different angles, which is, you can't control that, and it's a really difficult situation. So the only thing I can do is to keep, addressing these things as they happen and hope that, people who have these misconceptions or, faulty ideas about me and what it is I'm offering actually get it. Because I say, I think it's being missed quite a lot of the time. Maybe it's because I don't just sit here on a monotone, impassioned, speaking like a robot. I'm a fucking human being. It's difficult to be like that. If you want me to get into Spock zone, I can. Here's Terry Hayes, appreciate it, man. Can't believe I'm hearing the claim personal attacks have come from this platform, yet I've been here and must have missed them all. Exactly. Again, everything's there. People just need to ask these questions. This is my problem when people sit back idly allowing this to happen. when I've spoken about this before. Don't allow that to happen. That's where the avenues of these players are allowed in, when people sit back passively and don't stand strong representing the facts. Now that is the problem with groups. That's how sometimes, I sit back wishing and hoping that people in the know are going to fucking give me a tap on the shoulder and say, here, no one will let you in the fucking secret, because the fucking dysfunction here is just fucking hard work. You start to realise why people accept, these offerings, because it's just so difficult to deal with the dysfunction of the masses. Preston Vaughan, personal sun and moon, flat station is the truth, you can't hide it. I've contemplated that myself, to be honest with you, Preston. I'm sure there's many others. Do we have, an alignment to some sort of personal view of the sky, the luminaries? Again, these things are valid questions, contemplations. We just really need to be careful when we start, getting angry with people who question that and who don't want to believe in it or whatever. If that's your personal intuition or hypotheses or whatever, that's fine. But we still require the exploration of the physical realm in order to establish what's real and what's not real. So it shouldn't be becoming an issue. This is what happens because people have got this driving ambition to convert, and that I conceive, I've got a perception or a concept in my mind, and I want people to grasp it. Just represent your concept if that's what you want. Go about your business representing your concept, and people that see it and see the use of it or whatever will come to it. Set your own stall out. Don't get angry and annoyed with people that are not going to fall in line with concepts and ideas, because it's nonsense. Well, Preston, again, if you can demonstrate these things, by all means, I'm totally on board 100%. If you can practically demonstrate these things and it's there and it can be measured and repeated, brilliant, fucking brilliant. I applaud you, man. You're not going to get any negativity from me in that regard. As I say, the only caution I have is when people do these things without something to support it. So if you have that, mate, excellent. I've not had a chance to look at it. So, I'm not going to make any comment from ignorance, because I've not looked at your material. I've not looked at what you're laying out. So once I've done that, then I've got something to say about it. Until then, I've got nothing to say about it other than I've contemplated that idea. So Space Force, I know. Space Force! Can Space Force? They are royally ripping the fucking piss out of people. A couple of months ago it was, well, we need a task force and machinery to go up and clean up the garbage in space. We need bins on a Tuesday. We'll put the blue bins in space for Tuesdays, and we'll put the black bins in space for Thursdays. And then we'll need to shuttle up crews and have shifts. Now we've progressed into a Space Force. Are they all going to be dressed like Buzz fucking Lightyear and have fancy names? It's the most retarded bullshit I've ever heard in my fucking entirety. Absolutely pathetic. How can you have a space force when no fucking space? Unless what they're talking about is the space in between objects here in the real world. What are they going to run about imposing space laws? Does that mean when somebody's too close in my personal space, I'm going to have an interjection from the Space Force that are going to remove that person back to an acceptable personal area? I wouldn't mind that, because there is people who, you know, are space invaders. What do we have? Wee torches with a symbol on it we can project into the sky, so the Space Force can come and save us from the, you know, the crampers, the space crampers. You know, we still have that kind of lunacy going on, and we've got people shouting about fucking unity. Yet the mentality and level of people is still believing in absurdities. They still believe in fantasy, absurdities. But now we're going to unify into the new realm with the same mindset. Fucking brilliant. Oh, let's see in the new paradigm what other absurd fucking nonsense we can take the human psyche into, shall we? That's what I think, Andy. I can see that coming. You know, this talk about Space Force would imply a purpose, would it not? You know, and especially when it's you know, being promoted as another branch of the military. So, what's this Space Force going to be battling with? Garbage? Is it just a Space Force to go and clean up the rubbish that's been thrown at the ISS? I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's an excess of unicorn dust up there or something that we don't know about. It has to be vacuumed up. Don't know. Questions must be asked. What is it you're trying to force? Aye, and this talk about this platform and how I'm a guru and I'm warping people's minds, I'm not the one that's running about like an organisation. I'm not organising people and forming them into my group. I'm just here representing myself the same as I've always done. Setting out my own stall, and if people think there's a product here that's worthwhile for them, they come and it's useful to them. That's that, end of the fucking story. That's the reality of the situation. Look at the walk, people. Just look at the walk. It tells you everything. See, metal dog rides. I don't think it is just about squeezing money out the public. To be honest with you, I think it's much more than that. I think it's a piece of a bigger agenda. To be honest with you, I don't think it's about squeezing money. I mean, at the end of the day, money's not an option or an issue to you know, people running the show. They fucking print the bastard and stuff. It's resources that's important to them, you know. And if they've got the processing plants and the grounds, it's theirs. What do they need money for? They don't need fucking money. It's not what it's about. There will be people involved in it, middlemen that are in it for their selfish gain for money. But at the top level of this, it's not about money. It's far from it. Exactly, beyond belief, we are the resource. Yep. There's inanimate matter resources that are being put to use and used against us. And then we are being used as a resource on many different levels. Flat Earth dude, can we get back to the no curve? There is no curve. I mean, this is what I'm saying. There's other aspects of this that have to be looked at. Much more important now. Okay, it's important that people understand and become aware. So again, I'm on board with people making a noise to make awareness of a question being asked, but that's not a be all and end all. There has to be more contemplation and thought put into what's actually happening, right? And what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to resolve, where we're trying to go. Of course, Russian vids, that's anybody that looks at the whole game, the psychological, emotional, physical constraints and games that are played. It's about control, dominating, and for me, is to keep us still, is to keep us in this area. Once you get rid of all that, it's fucking up off your ass and let's go and see what else is there. And fuck you to anybody who's trying to stand in the way of that. We can identify who they are by their action, by their walk. This is what I've always been saying. It's in the content. I don't just mean people making YouTube videos. Once you understand things like the trivium, you understand the logic, the rhetoric, the grammar, you see it and you see these people and how they're applying it. Then you can see the walk. It's identifying a mindset and what it is they're trying to perpetuate. As I say, don't listen to people that just throw labels out there, these mantras, buzzwords. It's the Jews, it's the Jesuits, it's the fucking Freemasons, it's the blah, 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 blah. Trying to get you to generalise and just focus your hatred towards one particular, symbol. What's that religious saying? You will know them by the fruits or some fucking thing like that. It's the same as what I'm saying. I identify them by the walk. What is their psychological processes? What are they contributing to? What are they offering up? Then I can identify them. Then I identify the players. I don't just go, oh, it's Illuminati. Look at the wee 666 in the triangle. That's bullshit. That's all just fucking nonsense to distract you from getting right into the nuts and bolts of what's happening here. It's a psychological mindset. And their actions, their words, how they walk will show you it once you know how to recognise it. If I was to say to you, how do you recognise, a manipulator in your family circles? How do you identify a narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic, manipulative fucker within your family circles, right? If I was to come to you and go like that, well, look at the tattoos, look at the hand gestures, look at the symbol on his jacket, look at the that's fucking useless. Look at his behaviour. Look at his psychological processes, his reasoning. Look at his walk. Or her walk. Whatever. All that shit is flung at you to distract you and make you think you're getting somewhere and you're empowering yourself when you're just full of fucking nonsense. Exactly, open my eyes. This is what it's about. They expose themselves once you know how to spot them. So people need to understand, how do you spot them? You don't spot them by them going, fuck does that fucking mean? What have I to take for that? It's not about that. That might be an added on extra. What is it they're offering up? What are they contributing to? What's the message that they're involved in? What does it imply? What's the result of their actions? I am one of them. I don't know what else to do. Left nipple out, roll my fucking leg up. Hey. Even if I was going, with 666 tattooed across my fucking forehead and fuck you, Jesus, I am the devil. What the fuck does that even matter? It's the content, it's my walk that matters. But they want you focused on superficial, you know, faulty grounds are total fucking nonsense. Making you think that you're identifying things that are important and separating yourself into your wee box and putting everybody else in their wee box and then thinking you've got a grasp on life and your psyche and everybody else's psyche. It's just fucking garbage. A spade's a fucking spade. I will identify a spade by its form. Not by the colour of it. Or what it has on it, what's dressed up with. Oh, it's got a ribbon, it can't be a spade. Oh no. Oh, it's green, can't be a spade. Spades are black or white. The spade done that. Oh no, I can't trust the spade to dig my garden. I meant I'm into the realms of fucking... Aye, Alison, you shall know them by their fruits, exactly. Open my eyes, I totally agree. There's people who are no part of a you know, it's like they're no what's that fucking word? Words are escaping me these days. Complicit to any, you know, overruling agendas. People just find an avenue within a particular agenda to get their success or get what they need for themselves, and by that they perpetuate it, they contribute to it, but they're no, you know, complicit within it. They may unwittingly be complicit within it, but they're not aware of what they're contributing to. That comes to a few. Right? The majority of people are just pursuing what they need to, or what they feel they need to for any given moment in time. The circumstances they're born into, the circumstances they find themselves in from day to day, and they'll just do whatever they have to do within the framework that they have in front of them. It doesn't mean to say that they're complicit to any, you know, malevolent agendas. But again, these are the complex layers of this whole fucking thing. You know, this is why we have to be careful that we're not just, you know, throwing things in wee boxes and giving it a label and thinking we have it all resolved. Never do that to yourself. I mean, Dale, we know what you're up to. Enjoy your celeb status. People will wake up beyond the imaginary bullshit. Again, you know, look at this. Look at the emptiness of this fucking garbage, right? Enjoy your celeb status. I was not aware I was a celebrity. As far as I'm aware, I'm a fucking moron who, you know, is saying something contrary to what the majority of the rational, critical thinking world's saying. Right? I'm being attacked left, right, and fucking centre. I have gained absolutely no status whatsoever, no monetary gain whatsoever. Absolutely nothing in my life has changed at all in regards to any sort of status. I'm Dale from the fucking scheme, the same as I was 5, 6, 10 years ago. No fucking different. It's fucking morons like you that throw these mantras out there, hoping that it sticks to the fucking, the gullible, stupid fucking mind, and hoping somehow you're going to affect me emotionally. You're a fucking retard. A dimwit. Stupid. So, if I'm enjoying my ridicule and the stress and this arduous, continued fucking battle, somebody better let me know. I'm yet to see the fruits anywhere. The only fruits that I gain through this is when I see people that have had use out of anything that I've offered. I take great satisfaction in that. So if you call that status, by all means, there's no status in here. There's no elevating of status in my mind. Get it up, ye. Keep trying, cunts. It's not going to fucking work. That's all they have. Try and sow seeds of doubt in people's minds because they know people are operating from irrational, illogical, emotional nonsense. So they just constantly try and portray people in a certain light because people are judging people. That's where they operate for. A judgment of the person, whether they can judge, they like that person or no before they can take any information that person's going to offer. So I see their wee stupid games that they play. It will work, but it's only going to work on fucking reprobates, absolute fucking numbskulls. I don't give a fuck about the numbskulls. They can think the faulty thoughts all they fucking like. I don't give a fuck about that. I couldn't care fucking less. Exactly, it's only about information. This is you want to see the psyops, you want to see these players and who they are. This is what I'm saying. It's about objective facts, it's about the information that's on display and being offered. That's all that counts. And you will see them by the fruits. That's it. Yeah, well, listen, I know it was the same for me. It's frightening the level of people that they've got involved in this, you know. I'm concerned that these people don't realise that they're being played and what they're actually part of. I think they really think they are part of something holy or something. You know, they're just fucking deluded. What's everybody saying sorry to Pete for? What did I miss? Pete who? Pete Shea. Flat Earth dude palm bombed. Flat Earth dude palm bombed you, or Flat Earth dude was palm bombed? I don't know. This is a problem, innit? You know, I would love to be able to open up, post my link in the chat, and have a quick fire, you know, conversations and points with people, and have freedom to just allow people in without any underhanded tactics going on. But unfortunately, you know, we're not dealing with rational, balanced people who are interested in equality. We're dealing with controlling, insecure, manipulative cunts. So, what are we going to do, you know? Well, what can I say, Pete? You know, it's a fucking absolute nonsense, and it just shouldn't be going on. So I sympathise with you, man. I know I've had it done to myself, you know, but don't let it fucking bat you down, man. You don't need me to tell you that. I know you'll know. You know, just fucking pick yourself up, carry on, and fuck them. Fuck them. That's all they've got. Underhanded tactics. Fucking morons. Weak. There's Rebecca. It'd be great, Rebecca, just to open up and have it free flowing. It'd be fucking wonderful. But we just don't live in those times. Yep, exactly, Pete. Right, people, I'm going to go off because I've made the points. All right. So I hope it's clear for people and that you can see these games being played. And do not allow anybody to shut you down your questions. Nobody at all. Right. So appreciated, people. I will be back very soon. Take it easy.